let's see what I tested so far, shall we? Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to JJ's PC Builds. You know what it is, JJ right here. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And thank you for all the new subscribers that subscribed. Looks like we got about a few more. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds family. And all my veteran subscribers, of course, much love to you for watching all the videos and helping us get the channel to grow. So, today, we are here today. I havened finished all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all right now. I haven't finished all with the testing yet with the 5600X3D, and I do apologize for that. I am trying to work on the testing, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you what I got on superposition. That's just one of the tests. I ran many of them. So let's go ahead and show you what I got for that testing. Alright, looks like I made you all a chart just for the 5600X3D on superposition. I did like the 8K test, I did the 4K test, I did the 1080p extreme, I did the 1080p medium, and I even did the 720p low. I did all the tests on the same computer that I'm going to be running head to head with the Ryzen 7 5700X. Now you know I have that processor because I bought it originally for my system. So I do have that, and that will be the next set of tests that I run. But I'm just giving you guys an outlook of what I'm doing, and it looks like the 8K graphics on the high side, it gave a 46.23 FPS, and it dropped it all the way down to a low of 32.34. Okay, now the 4K graphics went to 126.77 on the high side, and on the low side it went to about 80.56 on the 4K graphics side. The 4K test, I put graphics, but it is the test I did on the 4K. Okay, now the 1080p extreme, it went up to about 78.03 FPS, all the way down to a low of 52.81. Now the 1080p medium, it went all the way up to 238.69 FPS, all the way down to 139.32 FPS on the low. So, and I even did 720p just to see what it would do. So on 720p, it did a 296.18 FPS, all the way down to a low of 146.85. Now, this is just a small teaser for you. When I finish all the testing and everything else, I'll be posting it head to head with the Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 7 5700X, and I'll even go as far as, just for giggles and everything else, I'm going to put in the Ryzen 5 5600G, but I'm going to be using all these CPUs, these three CPUs, with the RTX 4070. It's all going to be on the same motherboard. It's going to be on, I'm not going to do it on the motherboard that came with the 5600X3D. I'm going to do everything on the motherboard that I bought myself, which is the ASUS Strix B550A. Since I got it all cranked out into, I got all the settings and everything else cranked out to where they need to be. I'm running everything at basically like I would with the 5700, so I'm running the 5600X3D the same way, just like if it was like an everyday use for a computer on air cooling system. Now, when I put it on an AIO, when I get my hands on an AIO, that will be the next step. I can crank it up even higher. But right now, I had to cut the power back. I had to undervolt it a little bit. Because if I didn't, it would have overheated the processor. I mean, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now, the 5600X3D is a pretty good processor. But initially, when you first install it to the system, now the thing is this. If you don't get the PBO curve set and get the voltage set down just a little bit, the processor is going to overheat. Now, that's the same thing, believe it or not. That's the same thing this 5700X did. Oops. Same thing this 5700X did. Okay, so that's the reason why I had to go in there into the BIOS and set down the PBO curve to like a -20, and then I even set the voltage. The voltage is supposed to be running at a 0.982, a 0.982 volts, but it seems to like it spikes up to like 1.2, 1.25. Now, and it's causing the temperatures to rise up to about 160, almost to about 171 degrees Fahrenheit. Which I know you guys are going to say that's pretty much in a safe zone. But, when I went to apply Cinebench to it, it kind of didn't play nice with Cinebench. So basically, I had to set everything down to where it runs like if you were going to buy your system, let's say, set it down to like it's like bare bones. So basically, it's just running base level right now. The GPU is base level. The CPU, I put it to where it's at a base level, to where it runs normally. And believe it or not, the way I have it set right now, it only spikes up to 68 watts. This is supposed to be a 105 watt processor, as they claimed. But from my analysis, right now, the way I look at it and do my testing, I see I'm only getting up to 68, 69 watts off for the processor. So like I said, I got more testing to come. I'm going to do a lot of testing on this processor. I'm not done yet. And plus, I'm going to do a comparison head-to-head, with the processor against processor, like the 5600X3D against the Ryzen 7 5700X. Because I see a lot of people saying that this processor is, smoking out the 5700X. I want to know myself. I want to know if what I paid for right here is a lot more than what I paid for that processor in that computer. And make sure you pay for your snacks and your drinks, and make sure you have them on hand. I'm making this video today to let you know I'm still doing the testing. I have not finished my testing yet, but I'm giving you a glimpse and a sneak peek into what's happening with the 5600X3D. So I gave you a little hint and glimpse of what's going on right now, so that way you know that I'm not finished just yet. So I don't want you all to think, well, he's not making the videos. He ain't benchmarking that CD, that processor. He's not doing anything. He's just letting it sit there. Well, I hate to tell you, I'm not letting it sit there, believe it or not. And I've already ran it through 3 different, actually, as you can see, let's go back and look at this really quick. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different runs of superposition. This is, everybody goes to this to test the graphics and everything else, but it just doesn't test just the graphics. If the GPU was going to bottleneck the CPU, then I would have seen it. The only thing I seen on this test was the 720p low that the processor was running at 22% and the GPU was running at 47%. That's what I noticed. So it was kind of teetering right there at 720p of what you would consider the GPU bottlenecking the CPU. Kinda, but it wasn't. But in all the rest of the test that I did, the CPU stayed between 5 and 7%. So basically, the rest of the tests were at 5 to 7%. Not too bad. The GPU did all the work. The rest of the test, it stayed up into the hundreds. So that told me right there, this processor's not bad. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm shocked. I'm dead shocked. I mean, I drove 12 hours total round trip to go to Micro Center and come back and test this for y'all. Just to let you know, I did a whole round trip, 12 hours, just to bring this back and test this for y'all. So I got more testing to come on this, and I got a couple CPUs that I can test it against. So it's not like I don't have anything to test it against. I got the 5700X right here, and my other motherboard. I got the Ryzen 5 5600G. I know you're going to say, well, that's not the same thing as the 5600X, but you know what? In a sense, kinda. It doesn't have the 32 megabytes of L3. But it does have 16 megabytes of L3. So, and it still has 4 megabytes of L2. So, it's still got some teeth that, it can sink itself into when it comes to, putting this processor from my B450 to my B550 and see what kind of teeth it has in the B550. Now, my motherboard is up to date. And it's definitely got the, it's definitely got the bias that's past, the 5800X3D, the bias everybody was talking about, that you need to make sure your motherboard is updated to that, past that bias type. So that way your 5600X3D will run into your CPU. If not, it just won't run. Simple as that. And that comes to Microsoft. Microsoft, you suck. Every time you change the processor, you're mean, man. That you make us, we got to sit there and we got to put in our password and put in a new passcode every time we change the processor. That sucks. And yes, I'm not running on local account, I'm running on my account. So, that's just, having to go through that extra headache just for a password. You know, they need to come up with something better, and I'm sure if they hear it, Microsoft, please come up with something better. Because when you change the processor out of a computer to a different processor, and you're trying to, be a creator and do this creator work, you're leaving obstacles in the way that, it just makes it so difficult that, as lucky that I knew how to get around that. So that way, when you change your processor and you go into your login, when you go to reboot to go forward, it gives you that TPM, that TPM change. And if you check yes, 9 out of 10 chances you're not going to be able to get into your computer unless, and hear me out, everybody. Hear me out. I'm going to pull this mic close to me. If you don't have internet on your PC and you are logged into your account and you go to change the processor, if you don't have the password to your account, what'll happen is this: you'll get locked out from Windows. It will lock you completely out, and there's no way around it. But there is a way around it. That's what I learned when I go to change processors. I learned to log into my local account because it keeps the local information. I keep a backup account and a local account. So this way I'm able to get into my computer. I don't know why I got to go all these extra steps. And think about it in a consumer point of view. You get, consumer wanting to change out their processor. They don't know much about doing this. And then the TPM sits there and basically says, well, you just changed your processor. Guess what? You need to check yes, because if you don't, then we're not going to allow you to have everything you need. And we're not going to enable TPM on your computer as long as you keep checking no. Yeah. So as long as you go to that screen where it says you changed your processor, it gives you a yes or no thing, to where it says yes if you want to update and go forward, or no, you don't want to change anything and you want to keep it the same and go forward. Well, if your computer is not on internet, and I don't know why this came about, though. This is the first time I've seen it, and I'm like, I got to share this with y'all. I'm telling you, I have to share this with y'all. So when you go to start up your computer and it tells you, well, guess what? You changed your processor. Your TPM's going to start over. So it erases everything that you just had. Now, the catch-22 to that is if you're not on the internet and it asks you that question for you to get into your login screen. So, if you don't have a password set on your login screen, that's a different story. Okay, but when you have a password set on your login screen, then it's going to ask you to go into your Microsoft account. If not, you're not going to get in there. So then to get out of that, you have to put your old processor back in. Make sure your account has a password on it. Make sure it's all set up to where you can get in on it. You got to make sure that the driver software for your internet connection is up to date before you decide to change your processor. Because if your motherboard can't log in on the internet and you have a password set on your account and you're using the Microsoft account, better be aware to have your password for your Microsoft account in order to get into your computer. That is this. I'm just letting you all know now. It's a really bad, it's not a bad thing. It's a good security, but the thing is this, it's a pain in the butt. Especially when your computer's password encoded. It's a pain in the butt. So, to get around that, there's only a few ways you can get around it. And I told you, make sure, number one, make sure your motherboard's up to date on either your network card or your Wi-Fi, to make sure when it goes up into the login screen, it'll give you a setup pin. But as soon as you click on that, it's going to ask you for your Microsoft password, and then what it's going to do, it's going to go into verification, go into your email account, send you an email to verify if it's you or not, and give you a verification code. And then you put the verification code on in order to get into your PC, and then it'll give you a screen for a new passcode. So you set back in your old passcode or your new passcode, whatever it is. After that, you're done. So it's a little bit of hoops and hurdles when you go to change your processor from your motherboard. So as long as your motherboard is in on your computer, before you go to change the processor, make sure all your software is up to date. All your driver software, make sure it's all up to date. So when you go to change it, at least your computer will log back in. You can get on the internet, and then guess what? You can put in your password to your Microsoft account. Then they'll give you a passcode on your email. You pick up that and you put in the passcode on your computer. You reset up your PIN code. Boom, you're back into the game. Just to let you know, that's how you do it. And if you can't, and you're stuck with no internet connection, that's a helpful hint to you. If you're stuck with no internet connection, then they're not going to let you get into your account. So then you have to go back to your old processor. So, just a little tip and trick for you all if you've gotten stuck in this spot. I've gotten stuck in this spot, and I want to share it with you all just to tell you there's ways around it. What stuck me in that spot the first time was, and what I didn't do, was I didn't set up all the drivers onto my M.2 drive that I use for my operating system to switch my M.2 drive over to the new motherboard. See, that's a little bit of to where the motherboard didn't have the drivers for the internet, the LAN card, and I couldn't get in. So I had to go around through the back door, set my computer to local account, and then it allowed me to go into my local account in order to set back up the PIN for Microsoft. So, there's a lot more to computers than you all think, but there is ways around it, just to let you know. So, if you ever get stuck into that little spot, take my word and take my tips and tricks for it. Just to let you know, just take the words and tricks. Okay? 1, if you're putting a new processor on your computer, your motherboard, same motherboard, new processor, make sure your motherboard and the drivers are up to date before you decide to switch. Simple as that. And that way, make sure your Microsoft account is up to date with the password. and you should be set. Tips and tricks for today. So at least I gave you guys something to let you know that, this is where I was stuck. So if you ever get into that problem, you know how to go about it. And just remember, hey, there's a way around it. Simple as that. Oh, by the way, the reason why I'm late on the video too is I was stuck at the doctor's again. Just let you know. But I did start testing yesterday the 5600 X3D. I'll tell you what I think so far, what I've seen, that it's kind of reacting like the 5700X in the little caveat issues. But one, I know I'm not going to see the full 105 watts out of this CPU. I'm not expecting that. 65 to 70 watts is fine. Okay, what this processor is going to be used for, okay, is not something that's really going to go balls to the wall, treetop tall when it comes to AAA gaming. That's not the way this processor is going to be used. This processor is just going to be used for light OpenGL gaming and just regular internet. So that's pretty much, it's going to have a good home. So until I find them something better than the 5600 X3D, I told them that, you'll get this one, it'll go into your system, and then I'll switch a couple parts out of your system to put on the new motherboard, and then we'll go from there. That build will be coming up sooner or later. Just keep your panties down. Right now I'm just seeing what the 5600 X3D will do on my computer system. I want to see what performance I can get from it on my PC compared to the motherboard it will be transferred to, which will be, where are you at? Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm reaching for it. Okay. There she is. There she is, right there. There you go. ASUS Tough B550 Plus Wi-Fi 2. That's the motherboard it's going on, and that's where it's going to go. Right now I'm testing it on mine. Is the ASUS Strix B550A, the white and black motherboard. Now, I'll tell you, they're going to be happy campers when I finish updating their PC. Especially with putting some RIPJAWS, some G-Skill RIPJAW with this motherboard right here. I got that too. And when I get done testing on my PC, doing all the tests, and then bringing it all to you guys, then once I get their computer, I'm going to take you all along with me. I'm going to tear their computer down. I'm going to take out all the essentials that's in there, and then I'm going to build this into that computer. And then after that, I'm going to put the processor in there. And I don't have a water block for it just yet. I don't have an AIO cooler for this processor to go in that computer just yet. I have been talking with the owner of it, and I've been saying, look, if you want the PBO curve lightened up a little bit and you want me to add a little bit more voltage to it, just a little bit more voltage, not much, enough to, give it a little bit of pickup, then, we're going to need to put an AIO cooler on there. A 240 millimeter rad sealed system, AIO cooler. Doesn't need to have RGB, which their computer already has RGB, ARGB, whatever. So I know because I built it. I built it the first time. I just didn't like the motherboard. That's all. And I'm going to show you just to make sure you know what I'm running on. Let's go back to the action screen again. So let me go ahead and move this over. Okay, so let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so you all can see it. We'll make it a little bit bigger. We'll go to 150. That way you all can see it. Okay. So, here's the CPU. There's the CPU right there. Shows you AMD, Ryzen 5, 5600X 3D core, AM4 socket, the instructions, 6 core right down here, 12 threads. So this way you all see the CPU is running at 32 Celsius. The core voltage is at 0.992 volts on the standstill. And it's running on the right here. The ROG Strix B558 gaming motherboard right here. So this way you all see it, and the BIOS is up to date, the version's up to date. That way you all can see that it's up to date. So because somebody mailed me and said to me, and they said, Jay, how do I know that it's, you got that processor on your motherboard? Well, there's the information right there. I just showed you. You can roll back and just see what I just posted right here, live right now. So that way you can see that it's legit. Okay. I know some people, they want they want you to be legit, they want you to be honest, and they want you to be, upfront. Well, I'm being honest and upfront. I'm not going to tell you I have something if I don't. If I don't have it, I'm not going to tell you I have it. I'm going to tell you I don't have it. That's honesty. That's what keeps my channel real, is being honest. Okay? And showing you the honest, true things that I do on this channel so you can see what I do. Legitimate from A to Z. Okay? Honesty is a good thing. This is what keeps my channel a family channel, and this is what keeps this a good computer channel. Okay? So that way you got the information. I don't want anybody to claim and say, "Oh no, he's phony and this and that." I've seen it done. I've seen people do that to many reviewers. And you know what? Keep those claims to yourself if you can't make them, because I have the real deal. I know other reviewers, they have the real deal too. So if you're making claims like that, please stop. If you don't like what somebody does, then go to somebody else's channel and have fun. I'm here to show you my experiences with the items that are coming about, which is PC building. Okay? I do PC builds. Also, I give PC news. Also, I do, PC part unboxing. Okay, I do many of things on this channel. I just can't tell you when because I'm not sure, because sometimes it comes within a matter of seconds or it comes a matter of time. You know, some of these businesses out here do not pay for, you to get PC parts. You gotta pay for it yourself in the beginning. And when that happens, that comes out of your pocket, and that's what you worry about. I haven't asked anybody for any money. Sponsorship would have been nice, even to have somebody say, "Oh, we want to sponsor you." That's fine. Sponsor me. Then that means you're going to be out there promoting my channel. So that means you're going to help promote my channel. If you want to sponsor, then, help promote my channel. That doesn't cost any money. That doesn't cost anybody any money. That just costs time. That's all. I'm not going to give a lecture. I'm not going to make this a long video. I do got a lot of testing to do on this new processor I picked up. This limited time processor, only at Micro Center. Now, you can't get it anywhere else except for Micro Center. Sooner or later, somebody's going to take and want to buy one from Micro Center, and they're going to slip up and they're going to sell it on eBay. We know this, okay? We know that's coming sooner or later. We know scalpers are going to end up getting their hands on it, and they're going to try to make their way to eBay with it and try to make a killing off of it. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. Scalpers ain't going to make no money off of this. This is enthusiast. I would consider this is kind of an enthusiast kind of processor, to where they have it as a collector's piece. Everyday use, yeah, you could, unless you're not, you don't do AAA gaming or anything else. That you just do light gaming. You don't do creator work or anything else. Yeah, this is going to be the processor for you. Sure. For the price, you get a $100 motherboard, which that brings up a good thing too. Let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. First of all, let's get the display settings set back to normal. Let's try that for a caper. Okay, now we got that back to normal. Alrighty, let's get this back to normal. Let's go back to the action screen. Let's go ahead and pull my face back over here and back over here. Okay, now we're back to where we need to be. Let's go ahead and type in Amazon. And, what we're going to do is we're going to see what we see. Okay, now let's look up ASUS Tough. Is it ASUS Tough Gaming B550 Wi-Fi B550 plus Wi-Fi 2 right here. Okay. Now, I want you all to understand something. The motherboard that you're seeing right now, right here, it's between $160 and $169. Okay. Now, that's not bad. Because when you pick up the bundle from Micro Center, you pay for the processor and $100 more. You're saving $70 right here. You are saving $70. Wow. That is a huge savings. Huge. That means you can put more towards your RAM. Even though that they give you 16 gigabytes of RAM, then you can take and turn around and say, okay, we saved $70. Let's do this. Let's go to G-Skill. Go RIPJAWS. Okay, so look at this. Wow. Look what that says. 32 gigabytes. Right here. 32 gigabytes. CL18. $64.99. You save $70. Guess what? Guess what, people? You still saved $5. And you got more RAM. So you got a 16 gigabyte and a 32 gigabyte. Do the math. What I always wanted to try was, well, look at this. The $63.99, and that's $3,200. And look at this. $3,600 for $1 more. Look at this. $1 more. $1 more. You can get 3,600 CL18. Wow. I mean, where can you beat that? Or since you got 16 gigabytes, why don't you just do this? Save a little bit more money, and then you want to put 32 gigs of RAM in it. Guess what? You save $70. You put 16 more gigs and use all 4 channels, and you get 32 gigabytes of RAM right here. Same RAM. Same RAM. So you save $30. You got $30 back into your pocket. That's how you gotta look at it. I mean, and if you think about it, if you use this type RAM right here, or if you go up here, I would imagine, now I could be wrong on this, but I would imagine you can take this 3200, and long as this is CL16, you could adapt that 16 gigabytes of RAM with the 32 gigabytes and get yourself what 46, somewhere in there? No, 48 gigabytes of RAM. So who's not to say that this right here, this 32 gigabyte system, you know, added to your system, since you saved $70, you know, who's to say that won't work? I mean, wow. Yeah, it should work. They say that right there, but you know, this motherboard, it should work just fine. Yeah, it should work. We'll find out. I'll tell you that. We'll find out sooner or later. So, but you know, that's just my thought. You know, if you know, let's say, you know, you saved $70. You saved off that whole deal. I mean, look, they even got a 48 gigabyte 2x24 right here. 2x24, and this is DDR5. So if they can do that with DDR5, why wouldn't 32 and 16 work? Wouldn't work together. Even this right here, DDR4. If you want to spend $4 extra, you can get DDR 4000. You get a 4000 megahertz RAM right here, $75. I mean, even if you spend $5 more, you get DDR 4000 RAM, and you can push it up to 4000 because the motherboard will handle all the way up to 48. It'll overclock all the way up to 4800, and this is only 4000, so you can clock. I mean, for $74, I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, truthfully, you can't beat that. Especially you trying to pimp out a motherboard. I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, truthfully, you can't. Even this right here is 64 gigabytes. Because my Corsair RAM, I got 64 gigabytes of Corsair RAM. Okay? CL3200 or CL16 3200 megahertz, and this is 3600 megahertz. This is 119, and I paid 129 for mine for Corsair. I'm like, wow, this RAM is really cheap. I mean, all right, well, y'all got the idea. I mean, I just wanted to give you all that idea. So if you go to buy this processor with this motherboard, it's a really good deal. It's $329 at Micro Center. Make sure you get in there. They're only going to have it for 3 or 6 months, and and when they run out, they run out. They're done. They're not going to make any more of these processors. So if you can get your hands on it, that's cool. If you can't get your hands on it, well, I know that sucks. But do remember they got a 7500F coming out. AMD does. A 7500F. But do remember the 7500F is a leak. We won't know if it's true until it comes time. But that's the AM5 series. That doesn't look like it's the AM4 series. It looks like they pretty much got everything they want put on the AM4 series. So the processors that we got for the AM4 is for the AM4. The ones for the AM5 is for the AM5. And also too, mid next year to third quarter next year, Intel is going to be coming out with their 14th or 15th or 5000 gen processor. But they're coming out with the new processors coming mid early next year, and for the non-K series, and for the K series it'll be late second or third quarter of 2024, or I think 2024. Let's hope it's 2024, that it doesn't turn out to be 2025. And also too, don't forget, Microsoft's going to be having their looks like Windows 12 might be coming out 2025. I guess when Windows 10 discontinues in 2025, do keep your calendar out for that. I think it'll be in September. Not sure yet. I'll have to take a look. But I think it's kind of, it's like Windows 7 they did in September, but I think it's September. I'll have to look. I'll let y'all know for definite. I'll let you know on the next video, so to get that information to you. But it does look like it's good so far. This 5600X3D looks like it's really good so far. I'm really impressed with it. I still got more testing, so I gotta put testing together for head-to-head on this, the Ryzen 7 5700X, and I might throw in the Ryzen 5 5600G, and they're all on the same motherboard. They're all on with the same GPU, the same RAM. Everything's the same, so that way, just the processor alone. What I'm looking for is bottlenecking. I'm looking for hanging up, glitches, the whole 900 yards. So far, I haven't seen any on this processor or the Ryzen 7 5700X. I haven't seen any problems on that neither when I was running it. But now I'm going to do a little extensive testing, and we'll try to see if we can slip a game or two in there. Just let you know, they're not going to be harsh gaming kind of thing, because I don't have. Now, understand the reason why I don't, put in the games that other reviewers do. Okay, I don't have them paid for just yet. Okay, I have to buy those, and I'm working on getting there to get some of those so I can do my own little, markup on them so that we all can see the games that are going on there. Takes time. We're getting there. I'm just letting y'all know from, what's going on, and let you know we are still moving forward. And believe it or not, we are moving forward, and so far it's moving forward pretty good. Slowly, but we're getting up there. Okay, we're not as big as everybody else, but like I said, they all started at the bottom just like me, and they all worked their way up to the top just like I am. So I'm doing the same thing, working from the bottom and making myself go up to the top. Hopefully I'll be able to get to the top with the rest of them. I'm a little late in the game. They've been on for 10 plus years. Some of them been on longer than 5 years. So this will, after September will be my first year. And let's see what happens after that. Which we know I'm going to keep going and going. I'm going to keep it rolling. So, but anyway, I just want to let y'all know what's going on, and letting you know that I'm still testing and everything else, so that way you don't think that I'm leaving y'all hanging in the wind, which I'm not. It's just I take a little bit longer on the testing I do, is because I don't have a team. I just have what they call me. I don't have a team to stand behind me and say, hey, we did all this testing for you, and I don't have that. I don't have that luxury. So I'm doing this all for you guys. I went and I drove 12 hours round trip just to get this. So that way I can do all this testing and I can bring it to y'all just to show y'all I am doing the best I can. I hope y'all understand, and I hope y'all know that testing does take time. And I don't have numbers out of my back pocket, and I'm not using everybody else's numbers. I am using my own numbers of my own testing on my own platform for you all. So that way you all see that I'm giving you legit numbers, of my testing, of my platforms. So, just as long as everybody knows that, I'm moving forward. I'm trying to help the channel get forward, and we're going to keep going. But if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And the reason why you always hear me say this is because the thing is when I see the views being up over 30,000 or better, I want to see all those views that are from viewers turn into subscribers. I want to see all those views of the people that are viewing you to become a subscriber, become a part of the family. I know out of that 30,000, we can bring all 30,000 down to this channel and make you a subscriber, which it costs you absolutely nothing to subscribe. There's nobody here asking you for money. All I'm asking you is to subscribe. Watch the videos from beginning to end. That's it. It's not a hard thing. You know, it's just to help the channel grow. If you want to help the channel grow, please do so. Please watch those videos from beginning to end. That's right there is what's going to get YouTube to move us up into the next bracket. To get my videos out there so we get more subscribers, we get more people in here. I can start doing more live videos. I can start doing many of things. You know, just let you know. And I want to thank all the new subscribers we did get. Thank you for being a subscriber. Welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds. And my veteran subscribers again. Thank you so much. Much love to you. And thank you for all that you do to help out support the channel. But until the next time, and I mean the next time, and the next time, and the next video, you know who it is, and we'll see you on the next one.